Well, I'm very tired today, so I was working quite late last night, so I hope this one makes sense. But I wanted to post this one up as a mistake that I used to make quite a lot was jumping into a race, making one or two trades, and maybe making a loss or not executing it properly, and catching a swing I wanted to or whatever, and feeling disappointed straight away after that first trade, and I sort of let that trade dictate the whole race for me. I'd always, if it was a bad trade, I'd always give up, and I wouldn't really be able to see the way forward and have that sort of tunnel vision. And one of the skills I've sort of obtained over the last few months or so is to completely put that aside. Well, I've almost got to a stage anyway, so put that aside, move on, and try a different trade, and try not to have that emotional sort of attachment to that first trade that you make. And that took me a long while to sort of have that skill and to be able to do that. And it's still sort of not 100% there, but it's there enough now so that I can really make use of it. So you can see in this race, it's 7 minutes to the off, and I've already been trading for a few minutes and made about a £10 profit on the one of the favourites there. So you can see it's a 2-horse race. It's My Dad and Spirit of the Vale. And My Dad, if you look at that Betfair graph, there's a kind of slope that's gone upwards, and I sort of caught near the bottom of that. It's just the way it was so smooth and running up like that. I wanted to jump on that, and when they're that smooth like that, then they can often mean that they're going to carry on for a good few ticks, so you can make a little bit of profit out of it. So I'm just deciding at this stage whether or not it's going to go any further. Sometimes when the trend's so strong like that so early, I might carry on up to 4.0 eventually, but I'm getting a bit twitchy here, so I'll close out. And I'm aware that I quite like early trading. If the odds are if the odds are looking good for me, and there's the graphs are looking good, etc., and there's a bit of money in the in the meeting. But I usually find when it comes to about 5 minutes before the off, then it's a good time to get out if I do that. Not all the time, but it's usually a good idea to get out. Wait until maybe 3.5 minutes when a lot more of the genuine money comes in, and change tax again. But maybe that's for another video anyway. So that's what I've done at this stage, taking my £10.69 profit. It's 5 minutes 52 to the off, and I'm sort of reassessing things again now, and trying to work out whether or not that trend on My Dad's going to carry on drifting out towards maybe 3.5, or whether I'm just going to sit it out for the time being and wait for the next opportunity and be patient, which I know is always quite hard to do, because we're all quite eager to jump in and make some money. So Spirit of the Vale, again, on that side, it's been gradually making its way down from 5.0 all the way down to sort of 3.5. So it's whether or not that's going to carry on towards 3 or drift back out towards 4, which it seems to be doing at the moment. My Dad, that's made a big jump in there. You can see there was a big sort of amount of money that came in. It's pushing it back down. So I'm sort of I'm trying lots of different things at the moment, and quite often you it's a good idea to try lots of different things. If it doesn't work out, get out quickly, move on to the next strategy. And I've actually lost a pound or so there. I'm chasing the drift out, and actually I'm getting a bit too caught up at the moment, because it's 4 minutes 45 to the off. Between 4 and 5 minutes, the markets could be really jumpy, and I think quite often it's a lot of trader activity and trying to hedge up their positions that they've maybe been taking over the past 10 minutes or so. And I think between 4 and 5 minutes, it's quite a dodgy time to enter the market, really. So it can be best to sit out, or you can use that to your advantage if you know how to do that. But I probably should have just sat it out, and I don't think I was looking at the time at this moment in time. But anyway, so sort of clawed that £10 back, so I'm sort of back to where I was at the beginning there. So it's nearly down to 4 minutes, and sort of looking at quite soon that the genuine money is entering the market. So that's punters and people on the track, and all sorts of people like that who are going to put genuine money and sort of betting money into the market on gambles, etc. So what I'm doing now is just sitting it out. You can see I've lost some of my profit out now. I'm actually down to £6.20, which can always be a bit of a kick in the teeth, especially when I think I looked at the time at this stage and realised actually what I usually do is sit it out and wait till about 3:30 to jump back in again, depending on the race and the opportunity. Anyway, rambling on a bit there, but so I'm just waiting for the what should be a move to happen. Now I know it's a handicap race, so usually these might be, if they're stable races, then you should be able to hopefully scalp them. But it's also Newcastle. Newcastle is one of these races or meetings where even the handicaps, they tend to have quite big swings, and this one seems quite volatile already. So it looks as though it's almost 3 minutes to the off, and my dad has completely changed route. It's coming back inwards. So I've added £200 on the backside on the favourite there, and I'm expecting that to keep steaming in and come down towards maybe 2.5, and if I'm lucky, maybe even further than that. So I've got my £200 in on the backside. I've got my £50 stakes sort of dotted all the way down towards sort of 2.5, and hoping that, there you go, so little chunks come in the market there, getting back towards that £10 profit that I had originally, which is great, and I'm hoping to surpass that. So I mean, the way it's really come down towards 2.6 now, I'm thinking maybe that's going to break through the 2.5. Usually if it does break through the 2.5, then that carries on down towards sort of 2.35, maybe even further down towards 2.1. So I'm sort of looking out for that now. It's still hovering around 2.5 at the moment. It's not quite broken it properly, and you can see it's gone back out now. Although it's gone back out and I've sort of, on paper, I've lost that profit there, I'm not too worried, because my view is that it is going to keep going down, which is what it does in a minute. Quite often when it goes flying back out like that, it's just trader activity, hedging, taking or hedging up and taking some of that profit that they've just gained, and causes that bounce back in the market. So it's important when you've got your view to try and stick with it, because if you don't stick with that view, then you often miss out on a good opportunity. So it's all about being confident in what you think is going to happen, which is easier said than done, of course, when you see your profits sort of being frittered away by a bounce back in the market. And I've lost that confidence. I lost that nerve. I didn't hold my nerve, sorry, and I closed out for only a £3 profit. So again, I've lost that £10 profit that I had sort of 5 minutes ago. So I'm putting a lot of money through the market at the moment, making lots of different trades in my pursuit of getting the highest profit possible. And obviously at the moment, then I'm still in profit, but not as much as I was a good few minutes ago. So maybe I've made quite a few mistakes there. I often make lots of mistakes when I'm trading. The main thing is to just try and manage my risk, and I think that's all you can do, really. Nobody's perfect. Obviously, some people are more perfect than others, and wouldn't have made some of the mistakes that I've made the last few minutes, and will probably be on a lot more profit than me right now. But there you go. It's just how I'm learning at the moment. It's how I'm trading. As long as you end up with profit, most of the time that's the main thing. So there you go. So I've backed some money again, because I've continued that original thinking that this is going to keep steaming inwards towards maybe 2.3. I put about £300 on the backside, I think, taking it out in increments, and finally getting that decent profit. So I've gone down to sort of £17 profit. If I originally stuck with the plan, I'd probably be on a lot more right now, maybe £25, £30 profit eventually. But it's one of those things. You manage that risk in your head. Sometimes you don't hold your nerve and stick with that original plan that you had that confidence in, and you end up missing out on profit. But that's all experience, and I found over the last few months I've become more and more confident. And I'm sure you guys out there, probably rings true of you guys as well. So this has gone all the way down to sort of like 2.18 now, and if only I originally stuck with that view that I had. Hindsight's a beautiful thing, then I'd be in a lot more profit right now. But there you go. It just shows that sometimes you can put a lot of money through the market and keep cutting your losses short, and that sort of thing. Sometimes cutting your profits too short, which obviously I did earlier, not holding your nerve. But I just wanted to highlight really that it's quite often more about than just one or two trades. And even if you first trade bonds and you don't get you get a bad result, you've £3, £4, £5 loss. Don't get too upset about it. Just close that out. Move on to the next opportunity, because there's plenty of opportunities in races like this. Especially if you're, I'm a swing trader, and most races you can get a decent swing. So it's good just to hold out for the next opportunity, really. Right. Okay. So I think I'll probably close out in a minute. The horses are getting close to going into the stalls. I'm just trying to eke out a little bit more profit. And I'm finding on about £19 profit at the moment. I think in a second I'll actually try and trade the second favourite there, Spirit of the Veil, because looking at the Betfair graph and what happens on the favourite in a minute, I have a view that it's going to move out, and I don't think it does, so I end up forfeiting a few pence. But anyway, I'll probably close it out for now, but thanks for watching. I'll probably post, if anyone's interested, I'll post a few more videos soon. Thanks.